Queen Tess. What do people think? Because I think the passing of the torch here specifically was very quick, very unearned, and entirely to serve one emotional purpose, which wasn't really done well. Because Tess's the way this cinematic actually unfolds, right?
I mean, I'd be happy with this story if they told it.
Exactly, because
I'm the whole Gan like abdicating. Mm-hmm. That going to I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Like Tess does cool rogue things. Thumbs up. That's a very fucking North FC description of liking a character. No, right. Tess good.
Stabs boy, simple as.
Tess good. Again good. Like them both. Good characters. Happy for this to happen. But you should have had it just.
Yeah,
you needed to be told. This is just a bit like to cook the pizza. They've taken the dough out of the oven and they haven't like stretched it out. They've just put it in the microwave. Fucking slapped some tomato sauce on it. There you go. There's your pizza.
Yeah, there's a little bit of I really. Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, woo! Clapping.
It's.
Oh,
should I say that?
God, that looked like you were about to cast.
Yeah, no, my power's mind reading. I'll get I'll figure out something to cast. No, you actually completely threw me off. What was I saying? Yes, there's a concept I think which is a little bit worrying of Tess's relationship to her dad and her brother here feels a little bit off the shelf tropey. Which I'm not against using tropes, but I feel like this wasn't sold in any capacity where the like kind of why do you spend so much time crying over my brother's death instead of saying I was doing a good job, Dad, huh? And there's a little bit of like I like that story if you told it. Like you said, that would be good if you told it.
They'll say, we did. We showed you point A, and then we showed you point B.
They didn't show point B. They didn't show point A.
I'm talking about the first cinematic and the second cinematic.
Oh, okay.
And then we teleport between these 2 points instead of walk.
Yeah.
It's like again, this sort of thing could have been played out a lot more via the gameplay if there was maybe more things happening with these characters. The Scarlets, right? Make them smart. Make them menacing. Maybe the Scarlets try to kill Tess because they know their enemy, which they will. Yeah, like that's the sort of thing where I think the Scarlets here were woefully underutilized, and by placing, that's the problem. It's very hard to show with a lot of these characters naturally when this is just a 15-minute threatless victory lap. So the Scarlet should have been able to push us back, score a surprise victory that maybe the people didn't expect, and then that places our characters into peril, and then we learn things about them because when they're placed in these situations, they naturally respond in ways that teach us things about who they are. And then we're empathizing with these sort of experiences we watch them go through, not just telling each other things. Like, hello, we will now be emotionally intelligent with each other, finally, for a 2-minute cinematic. That's how so much of it ends up feeling.
It is. I have a vision for what they could have done here that I think would have actually told Tess's story pretty well. They might have had to sacrifice other parts of this story, but when they were going to defile Liam's corpse with the light, or undefile it with the light, because they wanted to make sure all the Worgen could be free and go to heaven, because apparently the Scarlets don't think dogs go to heaven. But imagine, so how to try and set this up correctly. So you've got a story you want to tell, and the story you want to tell is Tess was always playing second fiddle to her brother, despite being, fully capable in her own right. And that's a pretty common thing, especially with more like tomboyish kind of girls. That's a very like a regular family dynamic kind of thing. Especially when it comes to royalty and monarchy and who's the heir, etc., etc. All that stuff's like a very obvious story. So Tess has some stuff she wants to work out about Liam with her dad. Liam's dead. Well, that makes it a bit more challenging. However, we are in a world of magic. And Liam's corpse is just over there. What are the Scarlets, for a lot of the player base, known for doing? Resurrecting people. Because everyone has seen Greymane do her resurrection of Mogren. Or what's his name, yeah. So, have the Scarlets resurrect Liam. Have him enthralled to the light in some capacity. Maybe you want to tease the light bound further. Maybe you don't. You could do it either way. And now you've got Tess fighting Liam. And look at that. You've got a thing that you can do. You've got a fight scene that can be cool.
It'll be hard to make that land.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I could see it.
And
I could see them doing
and then
it.
look at that. You could have Tess shouting things about her emotions at Liam while she's fighting. And again, shouting back because Liam's undead and can't talk or whatever. Like Light Undead. And you've got a concept where you can see that. And the thing here is that this actually sorts out a load of problems. Where it's not actually Liam, maybe it's just his corpse reanimated or something. And then it doesn't have to be a person.
It makes the Scarlets feel more threatening.
Yeah, it makes the Scarlets feel horrible because they're using this emotional stuff. Again, can't kill him. Can't fight him. So Tess has to. But he's a fucking Worgen. Tess isn't a Worgen.
Yeah.
That's, by the rules of the setting, that's an inherent disadvantage. Fuck, what's she going to do? Oh, well, is it time for her to prove herself? She can do what her dad physically can't. She can put down this simulacrum of her brother and also use it as a very heavy metaphor for, look, she's actually better. Not better inherently for any reason. He wasn't actually himself. He was an amalgamation of the light that looked like Liam or whatever else, or controlling his body. But she was such a prolific rogue. She's in the Uncrowned. She's incredible. She can literally prove that. She can prove all of that to her dad at the same time resolving all of the family emotionally like stuff. Now the problem is that moves away from being a story of Gilneas and its people. But I mean, obviously a lot of world, like the entire Night Elf story has been about the people through its leaders. So they could do the same here. And it's just now you've got something, and that's like it would definitely be a little bit more animated and require a lot more scripting and stuff like that to have this fight unfold, and then the player helps in some capacity, and then it gets a little bit interesting because you kind of throw around that dynamic river. But maybe have the player get like thwacked and lose, and then Tess comes in and helps or something like that because she's the only one willing to do it. And all of this stuff, I'm like, I know it's a completely different idea. But it's a kind of thing of, if you sit down with the story pieces and tell one to completion, you have ideas like that come to you and you go, that would have been probably a way to, I'm not going to say it's better, but a different way to kind of tell the story. That would have actually resolved the family trauma and made the cinematic here hit a little harder. Rather than just, we got our city back. How? We did it, I guess.